Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's Elena. Today I have a guest star, the angel on my shoulder. My best friend Christina is with me. And Dolly is underneath the covers, as always. Before we get into today's look, please go down below, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And every time that I post a new video, you guys are gonna be the first ones to find out whenever I post them. Again, I said this in my last video, I'm gonna try and be consistent, but
yeah.
This is, yeah?
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying. Right now it's looking like every Sunday, but maybe a Sunday and Wednesday situation. I would ideally like to do 2 videos a week, but my schedule has been crazy. I'm slowly going back to work, which is exciting, so I can afford to continue buying the expensive makeup that doesn't get sent to me for free. Okay, so today's video is all about Gen Z versus Millennial. And I really don't want to say verse because this isn't a competition. This is just the differences of how Gen Z has grown up in this completely digital, virtual, online world, and how Millennials, I am 100% a Millennial, how we grew up just kind of winging it. We didn't really have, not really, we didn't. I mean, I remember when the internet came out, we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have TikTok, we didn't have a virtual thing to tell us what color our foundation was. With us, everything was trial and error. Makeup was not as technical as it is now. I definitely am 100% a Millennial. I grew up listening to bubblegum pop, boy bands all over my wall, and Juicy Couture socks with Uggs, and denim skirts, and 2 polo shirts. Why 2 polo shirts? I don't know. We really were kind of set up for failure, to be honest. And Gen Z has Kendall Jenner and all these celebrities who are doing their own thing and being themselves, and we just didn't have that. We were, you know, the style was really crazy and it was wild, and we just all learned from reading magazines. That's how you found out the newest eyeshadow color, by looking to see what eyeshadow Paris Hilton or Britney Spears was wearing. It was usually either silver, white, or purple. We really grew up like the wild, wild west. It was crazy out there. People were just doing whatever they wanted. No celebrity looked the same. Everyone had their own look. I really did gravitate towards a Nicole Richie 2-tone kind of hair. Yeah, it was crazy. At least now there's some guidance. Gen Z has guidance. I do find similarities as far as doing what you want, because I think it's really cool that Gen Z doesn't follow rules, but it's a much prettier and seamless application, definitely as far as makeup goes. I think makeup has become so much more beautiful than it was when we grew up. So I'm just gonna kind of do my makeup today and go through and talk about the differences of what Millennials do and what Gen Z does, and how I evolved into this kind of makeup that I'm wearing today, because it did not always look like this. It was way wilder. I'm gonna be going through a slideshow of my late teens, early 20s. So stay tuned, guys. Also, this outfit is a nod to my dream 90s, early 2000s self. I wanted to be Cher from Clueless all the time, so that's why I'm dressed like this, or Sarah Michelle Gellar in Cruel Intentions. I feel like I'm a little bit of a combo of both. As I got later into my early 20s and late teens, I would never want to recreate any of those outfits. They were so bad. Why did I do this?
I like it.
So guys, if you want to continue hanging out with me, Christina, and Dolly, keep on watching. I promise this is very entertaining. Okay guys, lesson number 1. I literally wrote this all down because I had to remember each individual thing. Okay, first thing that we're gonna talk about is skincare. If you would have asked me at 14 what my skincare regimen is, I probably just would have shrugged my shoulders and ignored you. And now 14-year-olds have amazing skincares. The Gen Zers, first of all, are living in a digital world. So they're on Instagram, they're constantly looking at themselves on their phones. They're seeing what their skin can look like. Well, they're seeing what their skin can look like, I think, a little bit unrealistically, because some of these filters are wild. This is the real me that you guys are seeing, and you guys see what I really look like. This is not real. But look how big my lips are. Wow. So Millennials really relied on skincare from their parents. I know that the only skincare that I ever had was Noxzema. because it came in that tub and I liked the way that it smelled. I felt like I was really clean after I used it. Or Clinique, the dramatically different moisturizer, the one in the yellow tube. And the only reason that I had that was because my mom would always go and get makeovers from the Clinique counter, and they would give little samples, and she would always bring home that yellow moisturizer. So, you know, I'd put that on underneath whatever makeup I wore, and I felt like I was really fancy. Washing my face in the morning definitely wasn't a thing. Washing my face at night, sometimes. Does the shower count? You know that saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, I've learned now that I've gotten older, but 24, 23-year-old me definitely was going to sleep in a full face of makeup and wearing it the next day. I'm guilty. I admit it. I just felt like, why would I spend any money on skincare when I can go buy a Lip Smackers lip gloss? I definitely do think that this is for the better, because skincare is really important, and I actually wish that I would have started at a younger age, but you know, I'm having some trouble right here now, but I think I'm gonna be okay. The new generation is gonna have amazing skin because they are given all of the tools and the resources at their fingertips. So millennials, I'm sorry if you are struggling with your skin. It is not our fault, it's because we weren't taught. Next thing we're gonna talk about is foundation. When I talk about foundation of the millennials, foundation really took a lot of different routes. I mean, all makeup did. From the time when I was 14 to the time when I was 20, makeup changed so much. So many more products were introduced to us. We started reading about them in magazines. But the reality was, I remember being really young, from like the ages of 12 to 14 or 15, foundation was really cutting edge. The only foundation that I feel was ever available to me. I mean, there was definitely more foundations. This is just my experience, but foundation was Studio Fix powder or the Dream Matte foundation. I almost felt that a liquid foundation was something that my grandma or my mom used. It just felt very old. It just felt really young and cool to have this powder that was a powder foundation. It was supposed to be lighter, or you can make it heavier with the sponge. Anyway, I am not wearing powder foundations anymore. I actually do love a Studio Fix powder foundation if I'm gonna use it for a little bit extra coverage on top of a liquid or cream foundation. I would never wear powder foundation now. But then as things started to change, I started to wear more foundation, and then self-tanner came. So now we're gonna segue from foundation to bronzer to self-tan. When self-tanner really became very popular, I'm talking like orange. I remember buying one at Bath & Body Works, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever until I put it all over my body and I was the color of a yam, but I loved it for some reason. I felt like I looked so good. I'm still obsessed with self-tanner, but self-tanner has come a very, very long way. Us millennials had to deal with, the colors were just out of control. And you know what? I was obsessed with it. I'm guilty. I'm from New Jersey. I was self-tanning all the time. Gen Z has been given the gift of self-tanner, starting from light skin tones to dark skin tones. They have a whole array of things, where we were just given one, the orange self-tanner, which was like back in the day this Bath & Body Works one, or a Sublime Bronze, which I still love Sublime Bronze, but back in the day they've definitely changed the formula. Then it turned into the Fake Bake, which Fake Bake is really where I started loving it, because I was like, ooh, this is a little bit more brown. It actually was gray, and then it turned brown. I would still put it on and I would be this very strange color. And if you were lucky enough to go get matched for foundation at your local mall or the MAC counter or Sephora, you were lucky. Otherwise, you had to just go into the drugstore and pick out a color blindly but now Gen Z is able to actually do virtual consultations on their phone to find out the perfect foundation color for them, which I have to be honest, I don't love that, because I would never pick out whatever color matched my skin, because maybe this is really millennial of me, but I still like to be a little bit orangey and a little bit darker than I am. Another gift that Gen Z has been given is contouring. The only contouring that we really knew about was that Kevin Aquam book that everybody had, and I feel like I learned how to do makeup from there, which was great and helpful, but it was on pages. It wasn't a video that I can watch. So for me, bronzer was just something that went all over my face to make me tan. And now I know like 13-year-olds who contour better than me. Concealer also took a full 360 for me. From when I was about 14 to 16, same kind of age, concealer was just something that you put on your face to conceal or to hide little blemishes. And then in the early 2000s, the Kardashians became really popular, and light concealer under your eyes became huge. So people started doing really, really white concealer, I'm also guilty of that, underneath their eyes and making themselves look completely unnatural. I do think that Gen Z is doing a really good job with concealer, but I did see something with a dark under eye situation trending. That I don't know if I'm here for. For the record, Hoola has been my favorite bronzer since I'm 17 years old. I love it so much. I just apply it very differently now. Now I know that bronzer goes in specific places and not all over the face. But back in the day, we were just taught that bronzer is this new thing that just makes you really tan and you put it all over your face. Like I'm talking, I was taking bronzer like this on underneath my eyes. What a mess. I think this is the biggest gift that Gen Z has been given. I think this is the biggest gift that Gen Z has been given. Eyebrows. You guys, early 2000s, the only brows that were in and acceptable were pencil thin eyebrows. I am guilty of it. My eyebrows were so thin. I wanted to look like Pam Anderson. I was taking the tweezers and I just had one little line of eyebrows. Gen Z's eyebrows, we have soap brow, we have bushy brows, we have unibrows. Anything goes in Gen Z, which I love and I appreciate. So whatever your brow shape is, go for it, let it live. Put some brow gel in it and just live your best life. Do not take the tweezers and take them away. Brows are beautiful. I am very, very grateful that mine came back because I was just, it was bad. Eyeshadow has taken so many turns throughout my life, and I've really gone on quite the journey with eyeshadow. When I was really young, the only eyeshadow that I ever wanted to wear was glitter, and that's because in the late 90s, a glittery shadow or white frost, those were the in eyeshadows. Everybody had white shadow all the way up to their brows or full on glitter. It was actually quite a look. But then later on, as I got to high school, I realized that glitter could be just as fun if I put chapstick all over my eyes and I dipped my finger in this Tony and Tina Guy glitter and put it all over my eyes. Because see, the thing with millennials is makeup wasn't really technical. We didn't have all these amazing makeup artists sharing their secrets with us. The only books we had were the Kevin Aquan, there was a Bobbi Brown teen makeup book, and then there was a Cindy Crawford makeup book. And those were the only three that I remember. And a really, really big color in the 90s was purple. Everybody wore purple eyeshadow. And I said this before, my first eyeshadow was the color Beautiful Iris. It's by MAC Cosmetics. I think a lot of other millennials will agree with me that MAC was the place in the mall that you walked by, they played loud music, everyone was dressed crazy, wild makeup, fun outfits, and your parents would be like, oh, it's too loud over there. We don't, we're not gonna go over there. It's too crazy. We're in Nordstrom. I just wanna go to the shoe department. I'd be like, please, let's go to the MAC counter. It looks like so much fun. Look how great these people are. They have jet black line out to their hairline. Ugh. And for your mom or your dad or whoever was taking you to the mall, they would just be that lady in Sex and the City who always said to Carrie, well, that's a crazy outfit. I wanted to be the crazy outfit lady, which I eventually became later on. So after the glitter era, a smoky eye became really, really popular. Everybody's doing a smoky eye. You see it on Paris Hilton, Tyra Banks, Halle Berry, Britney Spears. All these people are wearing this like black all around the eyes. Avril Lavigne did it too, but she was a little bit more emo. It wasn't really the look that I was going for. But now that we actually look back at her photos, she really wasn't that emo at all. She just had black eyeliner on and matte foundation. So for Gen Z, they get to learn a smoky eye by watching videos, and that's amazing. We learned how to do a smoky eye from opening up an Us Weekly and being like, oh, this is eyeshadow just smeared all over your face. You do it with your finger, right? Or the little sponge that comes with the eyeshadows. Having brushes was a whole other world to me. I never in a million years thought that I would need 50 different brushes just to create one look. Now we enter the world of Kim Kardashian. Kim has taught us a lot. She really has. When they started doing that smoky eye, people started realizing that, oh, we should be actually paying attention to where we put our shadows. I never really thought about it like that. I thought it was just one shadow all over. You know, you get the little Clinique eyeshadow that opens up and it's like base, crease, corner. Kim and Mario really taught us that you can have all this fun with glam. I would definitely compare the Kim Kardashian era of the smoky eye and really going for full glam and taking the time to do your eyeshadow and your eyeliner to kind of the euphoria time that we saw like 2 years ago, which I feel like Gen Z really took that and ran, and it was so cool to see the younger generation making it glam, but making it their own way. It's kind of like a mishmash of the millennials just putting on eyeshadow and not really having any rhyme or reason. It's just the way that we thought it was supposed to be put on. And the Gen Zers knowing how to put on eyeshadow, but thinking outside the box and making it really fun and adding rhinestones and adding sparkles. And something I won't be putting on tonight is a brow highlight, and that is something that I absolutely could not live without in the early 2000s. The whiter, the better. Millennials, we learned how to do eyeliner with the pencil with a little sponge on the end, and that was it. You would put on a pencil around your eye, you take that little hard rubbery sponge and you hope for the best, really. You would hope that it would blend it out, and then you would just get this line with a big gap from your lashes to the liner, and it was a big white spot. And that was how liner was done. Until we started using like the cake liner and then using a brush, dipping it in water, and then kind of starting there. And then we went into a gel liner. And now Gen Z has winged eyeliner so sharp it could kill you. With that being said, I'm going to apply a winged liner. One of my favorite topics always is mascara. Millennials had great lash mascara. The green and pink tube, we all know it. That was the mascara that's gonna give you the biggest lash. And now there's a mascara for everybody and everything. So Gen Z is blessed. Not only are they blessed with great mascaras, but they're also blessed with mascaras that are vegan, cruelty-free, no parabens, just like the one I'm using right now, which is the Joa Lash Uprising Mascara. There were so many mascaras when I was younger that I was using, and I wore contacts, and I never understood why my eyes were killing me, and it's because the mascara was getting into my eye, and I was scratching my corneas every week. So yes, the Gen Zers are very lucky for their mascara. They have all the mascaras, we had great lash. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I am doing a little bit of a colorful eye right now because I want this to be my ode to being a millennial, but really loving all of the hacks that the Gen Zers have come up with. I would be lying if I told you I don't religiously watch TikTok at night. Oh, and the inner highlight. Millennials grew up with an inner highlight that was only white. It had to be the brightest, most dramatic inner highlight, and Gen Z is now playing around with colors. They're doing neon highlights, which I love and I think is so much fun. Spiky lashes are a thing that we grew up with and I'm never gonna grow out of. Hello? Okay guys, I'm back. Well, you actually don't know that I left, but I did leave for like 15 minutes to go eat salt and vinegar chips, and we have a special guest.
It's me.
There she is. She's just a little blurry background. Christina's gonna be joining me for the rest of this TED Talk. The next thing that I wanna talk about is blush.
Elena's not wearing any pants.
Don't tell my secrets. It's just more comfortable that way. We're still in quarantine. I don't need to wear pants. Okay, millennials, we grew up watching, actually, I remember watching the Moulin Rouge video and seeing Christina Aguilera's blush that like went all the way up on the side of her face. And that was a look. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. It was like a thing. Like people wore way too much blush. And I feel like the only blushes that really were around were red-based blushes. So we had this kind of blush, and Gen Zers have this kind of blush. So now we're gonna talk about lips. Lips are actually my favorite part of makeup. The thing with millennials is that we loved glossy lips. Glossy lips, the glossier, the better. Every day I would wear this Lip Smackers glossy roll-on lip. Do you remember the roll-on lip? Mm-hmm. The Lip Smackers one?
Yeah.
It smelled like cake batter. It smelled so good, and I would put that all over my lips. And then there was one by MAC too. It was the MAC lip gloss, like the original OG one that was so tacky. I remember one of my friends one time at a party, this was like her party trick, she would put on the lip gloss and go like this to an empty Coke can and it would stick. That's how tacky the lip gloss was. I never had $13 to buy the MAC lip gloss, and if I did have $13, I wouldn't have spent it on a clear lip gloss because I had my Wet n Wild or Lip Smackers one for $3. Gen Z has Kylie lip kits. At 14, they're able to put on lip liner like a pro and a matte lipstick. Do you know what I would have looked like at 14 if I put on matte lipstick and lip liner? Crazy. The products just weren't there. But later on, as I started wearing clear lip gloss, I feel like it made my lips look really red. And then I started packing on concealer on top of my lips to make my lips white. That was a look, a smoky eye, white lips.
I loved that look.
I loved that look. It was like my favorite.
I still low-key kind of do.
I mean, same, but now I like wear a lip liner with it. Oh my god, it's normally Dolly right there, but now it's you. I feel like lip liner kind of comes in and out. Millennials always had a darker lip line with a frosty lip or a really, really light lip. Maybe I'm showing my age or I'm stuck in the past, but I still love a really dramatic lip liner with a lighter lip. So that's what I'm gonna do today.
You're here, but I'm watching you on the screen.
Oh my god, that's really funny. You're watching because you could see my face.
Mm-hmm. But here I can see your butt.
It's really there. It's there for you. I'm taking Christina to a 3D show tonight. I'm just kidding, it's not 3D, it's live music. Which feels like 3D because it's people and we're not watching it on the TV. How am I looking?
Gorgeous.
Okay guys, thank you for listening to my Gen Z versus Millennial. Not really verse, because I don't like to make this a competition, like the side part, middle part thing. I think that we helped pave a way for more beautiful makeup. Learn from our mistakes. If you guys enjoyed this video or you like this format, please comment below. Let me know what your favorite lipstick or favorite products from the early 2000s or late 90s is. I would love to know. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up and please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Makeup by Elena Miglino.
You look so pretty.
Thank you so much. I did this, she did this for me while I was laying in bed.
Well, she laid in bed, I did her makeup. And that's the story.
Thank you, Elena.
You look so pretty.
Thanks, I feel pretty.